You can start, Stella. You're unmuted. Stella, you're muted. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you muted.
I said everything. Good evening. I'm Stella Jones. I bring you greetings from AACPG Lake County, the African American Community Partnership Group dedicated to addressing health disparities in the African American community. It is a grassroots organization partnering with other organizations and individuals committed to and passionate about removing barriers to health. The co-chairs of AACPG are Demetrius Willis and Gail Graves. Under the umbrella of AACPG was created the Self-Care Initiative. That's a holistic approach to addressing the many facets on the road to good and better health. Out of that grew tonight's topic. Let's talk about hair. You may follow AACPG Lake County on Facebook and Instagram. I would like now to introduce my panelists. Tonight we have Dr. Lisa Agberry. She is a hair guru and a practicing board certified trichologist, known by her clients as the hair doctor. Dr. Agberry is the author of the Black Woman's Guide to Beautiful Hair, the #1 selling Black hair care book, and every woman's guide to a beautiful hair at any age. Dr. Agberry, along with her husband, is the director and lead trichologist of Lisa Agberry's World Trichology Institute, and as well as Lisa Agberry's Cosmetology Institute, all located in Memphis, Tennessee. Dr. Agberry has been featured in Ebony Magazine, Jet Magazine, Essence, Cosmopolitan Magazines, BlackDoctor.org, and BlackWomen'sHealth.com, and many other facets, providing practical advice to some of the most intense hair and scalp issues affecting all hair types today. We also have Yvonne Rockingham. She is a pre-COVID business development coordinator in the automotive industry. She is an ambassador for Christ and a former member of the Jesus Name Apostolic Church. She conducts a weekly Bible study group for women called Sisters in Christ. She is the wife of none other than incumbent Mayor Leon Rockingham, Mayor of North Chicago. We have Michelle Caldwell. Michelle Caldwell is a director of clinical supply management at AbbVie Incorporated, where she has been employed for 32 years. Michelle is a graduate of Roosevelt University, where she obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in professional studies, and a graduate of Lake Forest Graduate School of Management, where she earned her MBA. We also have with us Kim Woods. Kim Woods has a passion for youth. She has served on the board of teen and single moms since its inception. She manages all the marketing and communication for Waukegan Township and oversees many marketing roles in the community. Kim is currently the president of the Exchange Club of North Chicago and serves as PR chair for Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Kim has taken the next career level as a business owner with Woods Creation for You, LLC. We also have with us Nina Nicole, our poet. Nina Nicole prides herself in the roles she fills as a mother, a poet, a spoken word artist, and an educator. She has been writing and performing since grade school. She has hosted numerous creative writing classes and poetry workshops in her community for children and adults. Her most recent projects are My Right to Speak and Black Girls Who Write with Glitter. And we have none other than Senator Lynch. Senator Lynch is a Waukegan resident and a professional barber. He has been in business professionally for 10 years and since he was 12 years old. So at that, we would like to start talking about hair. So I'm going to ask our first panelist, we're going to talk to Michelle and we're going to talk to Yvonne. And they're going to tell us a little bit about what they have experienced during this COVID that we've been going through. So people and women, men, everyone has had some challenges during this time. So I ask each of you, at the beginning of our isolation and our quarantine, what was your reaction to not being able to go to the beauty shop once a week or once every 2 weeks or whatever it was? How did that affect you all? And I'm going to ask Michelle first if she would answer that question.
Sure, I have been going to the beauty shop for as long as I can remember. And when it first started, I thought it was going to be a very, very short reprieve. And as it kept going on and the gray kept getting grayer and grayer and grayer, I was contemplating, you know, how serious is the COVID? Do I want to take the chance? But I finally said no. And then what I ended up doing was, you know, I went and got me a bunch of scarves, thinking that, you know, I've seen people really rock some beautiful hairstyles with scarves, and I thought I could do the same thing, but it didn't turn out very well. I looked like Aunt Jemima. And since we started this discussion, I thought I'd try it again. So last night I went and did it again, and then I looked like a gypsy. So the scarves does not work for me. What I've ended up doing now is I end up using a wig.
Well, I think you look very nice in your wig. So let's go to Yvonne. Yvonne, what did you do when it come time COVID, after COVID, and during COVID?
Thank you for asking me, Stella. And I apologize about my camera. I don't know what's going on with it. You know, I guess they call it technical difficulties at a time like this. So anyway, you know, when this virus hit, this pandemic hit, it was a shocker at first, but I had recently had my hair done. I get sew-ins, and I've been wearing sew-ins for years. It's my comfort. You just wake up, you shake it, put a little water on it, spray it, and you go. So I was hoping, as I was looking at the calendar, I was hoping this pandemic, this thing wasn't going to last too long, but as we can tell, the months start going and the months start going on. And I had some events that I had to attend with my husband. So now I'm at the point of, do I take my hair down and go natural all of a sudden, or what is my other option? And I gave a lot of thought to taking it down, but it would have just been too much to do at one time. You know, I need a new hairdo. And if I had taken it down, my thought was I would have reverted back to my old 1970 hairdos, you know, and it hasn't been perm. So it was just a lot to it. And so I didn't go natural at that time. But that's why I'm thankful for your panel, for your discussion here today, because when I do consider it again, I'll be more informed about it. I'll know how to work my healthy hair, and maybe I won't have to revert back to my 1970s hairstyles in that time. So, but here I am today. So thank you for having me.
You are welcome. You're welcome. So we hope that we are definitely going to be able to give you the answers to what you're going to need to do from now throughout this COVID as we go forward. So we have the hair doctor right here to tell us everything we need to know. So to Dr. Atbury, I know that we've been in COVID for what, a year now? But still, we know that women have had to endure not being able to go to the beauty shop and stuff like that. And I know, what advice can you give us? What have you done with your clients to say how we can get through this? Unmute yourself.
One of the things that I think that, and I'll start with this, one of the things I think that this whole pandemic has taught us is that we as women, especially Black women, we need to understand our own hair and how to care for our own hair. Leave it to the professionals to do the special things, but to basically care for our hair, shampoo, condition, style, basic styles, then we need to know those things. And that's what was missing. So the pandemic has taught a lot of women that, okay, I've got to get some survivor skills. And so people have been all over the internet and trying to do things. But what I know for that, one of the things I tell all the people that I treat is that you really have to learn that your hair is a part of your scalp. The hair is an appendage of the scalp, and you have to take care of the foundation first. And once you take care of the foundation, then you're going to have an opportunity to have healthy, beautiful hair. And scalp, hair. And then you look at the things that are important to you. And then from there, you just say, okay, here's my list of what's important. Here are the things that I know I have to have. Here's the image I'm projecting to the world. So now let me see how I can learn what I need to learn in order to move forward with taking care of my own hair between my visits to the salon. It happened to be a lot longer than most women thought, but you still need to know how to take care of your hair and scalp between your visits. So one of the things that I've been spending a lot of time doing is a lot of virtual, online teaching. Like when we first closed down the clinic, I was online 3 days a week. And I made sure, because I had patients who just did not know what to do. And so that was really good. And then now I write a lot of programs. I have a lot of virtual counseling sessions and hands-on virtual. So it's really been something to experience.
And you're right. I mean, we women take our hair serious. You all do. I'm just so glad I don't have to do that now. Thank you, Lord. But I sympathize and empathize with all of my sisters that have gone through this COVID time of not being able to get their hair done. So we're going to talk just a little bit to Senator Lynch. Senator, the guys also have had some challenges when it comes to dealing with their hair, the beard, trying to cover it, not being able to, those that like to color it, those that needed hair, we liked haircut because, hey, I had such an afro during this time that's not what I like wearing. I like what you see now. But I had, let's see, Dr. Agberry, I was on my way to back to that afro, having just as much hair. Beautiful. But Senator, what did your guys, what do you hear your guys saying? What's happening in the barbershops?
I think a lot of the guys went through the same problem also, especially the guys that comes regularly. We went through the same thing the sisters went through as far as keeping up with ourselves and taking care of ourselves, because a lot of the haircuts, whether they be hairstyles or doing the hair, that therapeutic. So you miss that engagement. So what I did was the text message became even bigger, correspondence, and through it all, we would take precautions, but I had a few people that I trusted to come to me, and then a few others, I just went to them, and I tried to make my time as small as, I tried to cater to them pretty much, because I know what it means. A lot of them still have to go to work. A lot of them just like, it makes them feel good. So in essence, I just wanted to give good service without harming anybody.
Absolutely. How did you address, okay, we're supposed to mask up. We talked about, we don't want to get, too close. We're supposed to be 6 feet apart. There's no way you can fix my hair 6 feet from me.
For sure. disinfecting everything, keeping up with the gloves, keeping up with the plastic gloves. The problem that I had with the men was the ones with the facial hair, so the mask would have to come off. So we just reduced our conversation and made the best of it, and everybody remained COVID free. I haven't had any complaints. I got tested. A lot of the guys, I would ask them where would they be at or who was they around, but through it all, I'm still here. There's no COVID for me or my clients, and that's number one.
Amen. Thank
God.
you.
Thank
Awesome.
God.
I know. Yes. So, Dr. Agberry, what advice can you give to women? Because when we couldn't get our hairs go back and get a perm, and then a lot of times our roots were growing out, maybe some women thought of going to the natural look versus trying to go back and get that perm. Can you give some advice of the best way to go from a perm to the natural if I had to go, natural light?
Well, it's all about new growth management. Keep in mind, you have several types of hair on your head when you have a relaxer. Number one, you have the new hair. Even if with a fresh relaxer, that new hair is thicker. It has, in other words, the size of those strands, the texture is different. So even with a fresh relaxer, then you have the hair in the body of the hair shaft that's going to need a certain kind of care. And then you have the ends, what I call the ophooks in my book. Those are the areas of the hair strand that's going to need the most care. But it's new growth management. If once that line of demarcation, or I like to call it line of difference, occurs, then you have to treat that as the most dominant part, because it is going to control everything. And this is why a lot of women will say they shed, but what they're doing is breaking. Their hair begins to break because of that line of demarcation where the new growth ends and the chemically treated hair begins. And with many women being overlapped and overprocessed, then because we want the straight look, with many women, they end up with that hair breaking away so easily. So you have to hydrate, and you have to focus on hydrating the hair close to the scalp, and you have to change your style. You can't wear it straight. You have to do a curlier look, something that you can say twist and roll on, like some satin rollers. You have to change that look based on what you want. If you're trying to grow out to natural, once you can focus on the new growth, hydrating the new growth, getting that look, changing, being willing to change the look, because a lot of ladies would just press their new growth and burn it. They would burn their scalp, and they would burn and those are the things that we saw them running into. They had professionals that did well, but then when they went home, they had problems. So it's a lot of things that we don't consider when we're trying to grow natural. And you have to be willing to work with the new growth as the one that's in control, because the new growth, the natural kinky hair, because of its shape and because it is going to be thicker than the rest of the hair, not just because the hair is relaxed, but because most of that other hair is probably over processed, because a lot of women want straight hair. And so you have to make sure your new growth leads the way and care for it first, and try to give your hair more curl so that the hair will match the new growth. That's the best way to put it.
May I ask a question, Stella? I'm sorry, when you're talking about hydrating, because it's been years since I've had a perm, and I wanted to go back to the natural look, but when I did it, my hair was limp and it was kind of frizzed. So when I try to braid it and then take it down, because I see people wear the beautiful styles where they braid it and just take it down, mine is just limp. And I tried to put curls in it, like roll it up with the curling rod, and
Mhm.
then it broke my hair out. So I'm told I wasn't hydrating it enough, but I'm not sure what I was.
And that's a good question. What I mean, and thank you for having me clarify this. You have to look at your hair in its state that it's in. Now, if you have relaxed hair and it's straight and limp, that could be two things. Number one, it could be your hair texture. The size of your hair may just be fine in texture. But then you also have to look at if your hair is over processed. So has it been thinned out through relaxer or heated tools or something? Because we do a lot to our hair as women to get it to behave and to get it to style. We tend to bully it into place. So with that being said, you have to say, okay, my hair is straight and limp and it's not doing well. So you have to take that hair and you have to say, okay, I'm going to hydrate the new growth, a leave-in conditioner, maybe even a setting tool, but something like a sculptor set, something that's a softer set. And then I'm going to twist or plait that hair and roll it all the way to my scalp. Now, after that, you have to dress it for bed every night, and then you have to have have steps on how you're going to groom it. Lots of finger combing. When I say finger combing, I don't mean sliding straight through. I mean just reverse it and fluff into a style. Because when you manipulate new growth, kinky hair, because kinky hair does not stay on its own path. It, like straight hair, kinky hair crosses over to its neighbor. And if you got a part down the middle, kinky hair will go over to the right side, and then the hair on the left side will go over to the right side, and the hair on the right side will go over to the left side. So you have to make sure that you're managing that hair. And the reason why you lost hair is because you tightened that hair up into the spirals, you said, and then you didn't have a good dressing your hair for bed. I can tell you probably put a bonnet on it and went to bed.
I did.
Yes, and what that hair did, it went right to your head. And then when you got up in the morning, you tried to fluff it, and you put microscopic tears all through it. And so you lost the amount of elasticity that you needed in order to get that hair to behave. So you have to start at the beginning. I talk a lot about this in my book, Black Woman's Guide to Beautiful Hair. It's so crucial that you understand your hair is not just to make pretty. Your hair is not going to style itself. Your hair have basic needs in scalp, but it's got to have those needs, because underneath that relaxed hair, it was still kinky hair type.
Thank you.
Okay, I have two questions for you, Dr. Agberry, from our listening audience. The
Sure.
first is, what product do you recommend for hydrating the hair?
Now, I have a product line. So I would recommend my product line, but I don't want you to, I'm a firm believer, and if it's not broken, don't try to fix it. So
Okay.
if you have a product and you like the way your hair, if your hair is hydrated and it feels good when you put that product on it, and it's what I call a clean product, that means it'll rinse clean every time you shampoo it, then you have a product that can hydrate. So you need a moisturizer of some sort or hydration. I have a product called Hydration. I have one called Moisture Plus. I have lots of those moisturizing products in the Moist family. But if you have a good product already, use that. I'm a firm believer in that.
So do you consider oiling my scalp, hydrating it? If I just
No.
take some oil and put in there?
No.
That's not hydrating?
Moisture is moisture. Oil seals in moisture. If you took your hair, for example, you're really wearing this beautiful short and sassy fro. If you took your hair and you shampooed and conditioned, put some leave-in conditioner on, if you did that, then what you're going to find is that your hair, and you put oil on top of it, your hair is, while it's wet, then your hair is going, the oil is going to seal in that moisture. So your hair will be soft for a period of time. But
Okay.
the moisturizer, you need penetrants, moisture binding agents, and that's what the products do. They bind the moisture into the hair. Then you seal it with the oil. But if you don't, then you're going to, everything is going to dissipate and you're going to end up with dry hair. So even with your short fro, you need a moisturizer and seal it with oil.
Awesome. Okay, one other question, then I have to go to, I'm going to Kim. What products do you recommend for those who wear braids or protective styles? That's what it says, protective styles.
If you look on my website, I have a program for everything. And I did that by design because I knew that our product, when we initially got our product line, our product did not, people would bring it back and say it didn't work. So I realized that they didn't know how to use it for their style. So with people who are wearing braids, you have to understand braid is a low maintenance, not zero maintenance style. Your scalp is still under there. Your hair is still under those extensions. If you have extensions, and they have to have the same thing, clean. Your scalp has to be in a clean, acidic, stimulated, hydrated environment every week. And if you don't do that, and if you have problems, it could be twice a week. But if you don't do that, your scalp is going to suffer. Your hair must have a balance of protein and moisture. So you have to have the scalp and the hair cared for. And so that the braids look good, you have to, so you're not afraid to shampoo it, you have to groom it and dress them for bed, smooth it down and tie it down so that you can have, now this needs to be with something that's more of a microfiber where the scalp and you won't sweat, in other words. But yeah, I have a braid program on my website, but I'm saying again, if you have products and they work well for your hair and scalp, and you have no complaints about your scalp or hair, then you don't need mine. But if you don't, then yes, we're here for you.
Okay, tell everybody what your website is so that they can absolutely go to it.
Okay, it's LisaAckberry.com, my name.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, so I have Kim with us. We have Kim Woods. Now, there are many people out there who possibly have decided to wear dreads. Kim, I believe, has been wearing dreads since she was probably 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
To the floor now.
Yeah.
Kim, what advice do you have for people that would like to wear dreads, maybe want to try to go to dreads, or, what do we do there?
Okay, so first let's talk about the term dreads.
Right.
To some people, the word dreads is offensive. I like to say it's like the N word. Some people, you can say the N word with the AH on the end and they don't get offended. And then some people, you put the AH on the end, they don't care however you slice it up. They don't want to hear that word. So that's how I look at the word dreads. Some places you go, people may not be offended if you say the word dreadlocks or dreads. But to me, I feel like it's just safer just to say the word locks. It is, because there's nothing dreadful about my hair. And we look at it as like a European type of word when they would be like, oh, here come those dreadlocks. It's a word that a lot of Rastas and other people have taken on and changed the meaning. That's why I said it's like the N word, where you take a negative word and you change the meaning and you kind of say, we're going to take ownership of this word. So there are some people who still say dreadlocks, and there are some people who see strength in even using that term. But for me personally, I don't use the term. I say locks. It's just easier. And then you make sure you don't offend anybody, just locks. So I decided to get my hair locked in 2001. So it wasn't ever since I was a little kid, Stella. but I did go from natural. My hair was natural. I had a perm and then I let it grow out. So, you know, back in the day, you know, I don't know how it's changed, but back in the day, you couldn't get locks if you still had perm in your hair. They got so much stuff now that they do that you can get interlocks and all kind of things. But back in the day, you had to cut that perm out of your hair and you had to start fresh if you wanted to get locks. Period. There was no interlocking and, you know, braiding the bottom of your hair and then sewing locks on there, and then they even have it now where they even take locks and they can even weave it into your hair. And it's so many things now that people can do with locks, but back in the day you had to cut it. But I let my hair grow out naturally. So I did have natural hair for a while. And then I went from there to allowing my hair to lock. I did it because I'm the type of person, you know, I don't like to fuss with my hair. And I feel like even when my hair was in its natural state, even listen to the doctor, you still gotta, you know, it's not like you just wake up, you know, and then you just say, I'm just gonna put my fingers in my hair and just move. You still gotta take care of your hair. Even with locks, you gotta take care of it. But I feel like it's less maintenance with locks. I don't suggest people get it if you're the type of person that you like to change your hairstyle every day, or, you know, you want to look different and have a different look every week. And no, it's not, for me, that's not what locks are. Locks are, to me, it's a lifestyle. It's more of people tend to get locks if they have a certain lifestyle that kind of fits it. You do still need to take care of it, but it's not as much maintenance as having your hair out. People ask me all the time, well, what do you put on your locks? How do you take care of your locks? Like the doctor, I have a product. I have two products that I actually created in the lab. It's my locks. Try to show people my locks.
Oh, wow.
That actually handles what we were talking about, moisturizing and making sure that you have moisture in your hair. You do not put oil in your locks. That is like a no-no. I wish I could go around the world and tell people. That's why you see the caked up stuff in people's locks. That's oil. Think about it. If you put oil on your hair, where is it going? If you got locks, it's going in the lock. So it's other things that we use. More if you have to moisturize, or if you have to put oil, more natural oils that people with locks will tell you. But there's a whole series that you can do on locks. I am going to probably start doing something on my YouTube, so people can go there and see how I take care of mine, how I wash them, how I twist them and keep them going. But again, you know, it's a lifestyle. And I think that, you know, I don't know if anybody has any questions. I'm here. I can answer any questions that you have about locks, but I love them.
Well, that is all of this is very educational for each and every one of us, whether I have hair right now or not, because I may somewhere down the road decide I may want to do something different. Who knows? So, you know, we can look at that. But just lastly,
Hey, Stella, I do have a question.
Come on with it.
For the doctor. As I said, I've been doing sew-ins for years. So when I come to the decision that I want to go natural, and like I said, I do have a length of hair, do I cut, since it's been up for so long, do I cut my hair down and then start from there? Or do I go into the process of washing and trying to take care of it and let it break off naturally? Or how do I do that, going from the sew-in to trying to do natural?
Is this question for me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's like you mentioned sew-in. So you want to go from sew-in to natural?
Right. And it's braided. So it's braided. It's been braided. You know, it's always braided when I get it redone. So if I want to go natural, as you said, through the process, do I, you know, take it all down? Do I cut it off, cut some off for that part that's thinning and, you know, everything that you described? Or do I just let that go? Do I let it break off naturally? How do I go from the stage as being sewed in to now I want to take it down and go natural?
First, there's nothing natural about breaking it off.
Okay.
Oh, you have options. You can cut it away, do the big chop. Sometimes women are traumatized with that.
Yes.
But you can actually manage the new growth and just go through the phases that I mentioned earlier. It's the same. If you're taking away the weave, then the best thing to do is to replace that with something like a wig. But you have to make sure that you protect your scalp and hair from that wig. So you have to have not a stocking cap. You have to clean and you have to hydrate that hair, of course. So clean condition. Then you have to make sure you put it in either plaits, or you have to make sure you can braid it, but just stay away from that tension around the hairline. And then you need something like a nylon a fabric. I call it Moisture Lock. We have those treatment turbans. You can email me. I can send you a picture of some of these turbans, and we do sell them. But it's to protect your scalp and hair from that wig. So if you normally have weave, then you want, the shocker is trying to have a style and just break away and just go to a fro. And that's not easy for a lot of women.
Oh, no.
So
No.
just find your wig that looks like your weave that you've been wearing, and then get you some protection under your wig. And the things that I mentioned, and like I said, I'll be able to share that with you. And then you just need to clean your hair. So you have to think about the care factor. How am I going to take care of my hair and scalp? That includes shampooing, conditioning, keeping it hydrated, and sealing that hydration in. The other thing is you have to make sure that you think about your support. How do I need to support? Like dressing my hair for bed. What do I do in the morning when I get up before I put the wig on? And then the style is the wig. Yes. So once you get to that point, then you are fine. But if you've done the other two, the care and the support.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, I can't thank each and every one of you all enough for what you all have shared. I have gained a lot of information, a lot of knowledge here. Dr. Agberry, I can't tell you how much you've taught me. And I do have the book, so I can go through that. And I did start on it. So it is an amazing book for anyone to read. Please do go on our website, look that up, and do read that. But at this time, we want to close this out. I say hello from Texas. I started my lock journey 1 year ago, and I wished I would have started them a long time ago. Okay, thank you from Texas. Beautiful. The other thing is that I want to thank each and every one of y'all for being here, but we can't close without, this is Black History Month, but we want to have our poet here. We have Miss Nina Nicole, and she has a word for us, a spoken word. So I want to turn it over to Nina Nicole to give us a spoken word before we go.
Thank you, Stella. I just want to say thanks for having me. And as far as, hair is concerned, I feel like Kim, I have locks too. COVID didn't really make a difference. I went through more of a struggle at the beginning of actually starting my locks, and the changes from going from natural hair to not knowing if I wanted locks to wigs to pressing it and just finally saying, forget it, I want locks. And the biggest thing for me, no matter how my hair looked, was about me owning it, so if it's just new to you, you just have to own it, because if you feel bad about it, everybody will probably feel bad for you.
Right.
And Nina and Nina's just going with what you were saying. You can literally have a whole conversation just about locks.
Yeah, you really can.
It's on Zoom.
Yep. So I just wrote a short piece just about owning, your natural hair and your natural beauty. And it's called Why I Love My Hair. My hair gives so much attitude, I don't even have to speak. Just look at what my ancestors handed down to me. A head full of long tresses for the whole world to see. As far as I'm concerned, y'all wish y'all had hair like me. Look at all these other cultures trying to copy me. From fox locks to extensions, they can never be me. A long list of history notes goes into these braids, guiding me to freedom, a journey that lasted me for days. Or even when I wear my afro, Black pride, that's the style. I could walk around proud for miles. COVID ain't got nothing on my natural beauty. My hair and I will manage just fine. Taking care of it is a necessity, and that's the bottom line. Low fade or a press and curl from time to time, you don't have to think so, but I know I'm a dime. My natural hair represents the real me in the raw, no fault, no shame. I own my natural hair and beauty. That's why Queen is my other given name. Thanks again for having me. I appreciate it.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Look at that, look at that. Oh, Nina, you have sent us out on an awesome note. Thank you so much. That was so beautiful. I would love a copy of it. Thank you.
I'll email it to you.
Thank you. I'm gonna look forward to it. So I want to thank you all. I want to thank our listening audience for being out there and joining us. And I really want to thank you all. So please, please, please follow AACPG Lake County for their webpage. We are on Wednesdays, usually live. They have a Friday and a Friday night, sometimes events that you can follow on there. But we want to let you know also that on February the 24th, we'll be back to talk about some more hair. So thank you again for coming. We love you and good night.
Thank you.
You're
Bye,
welcome.
everybody.